What's up, family? We are back for part 2 of Pollo Papi's interview for our Everything Black series. Be sure to share the live with as many people as possible once you get on here. We're going to start part 2 in just a few seconds. With this part 2, we're going to get into more of his rap career, his music, his freestyle Fridays that he does on Instagram if you don't know about. I'm going to take some time to share the live right now and we'll get started in just a sec. Share. Share the live. We are back. Let's see. All right, we're back.
Yes, welcome back.
Part 2. Okay, I'm excited about part 2 because we finally get to get more into your artistry. Tell me what inspired your debut project, Think Twice. Because I've listened to it 3 times already.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, Think Twice is like part tribute project, part time capsule, part like diary for me. And it goes back. The project has been recorded for like a year and a half. I just dropped it this month, but the music is all from 2020, pretty much. And I moved to the Philly area in 2019, started dipping and dabbing with the recording. And in 2020, like right after everybody went on lockdown for the Rona, my homeboy, my roommate when I was down at FAMU, my frat brother, passed away like out of nowhere, unexpectedly. We didn't know like explanation for what happened. It's in the middle of lockdown. You can't really go check up on nobody. You're not supposed to be around each other to go see about his family and stuff like that. And that was just like a shock to my system, for real. Like blessed that was the first and only person for real that I've had like go in that way where it's just like abrupt. I know that's not everybody's story, but for me, it's like, man, that's a shock to the system.
Yeah.
Right. And I do a poor job of grieving in general, right? Like whether it's family, grandmama, granddaddy, I just kind of right, wrong, and different. I kind of just try to keep going. And this one, I thought that I was doing that, but like the whole time, like you were kind of just like on the decline. And right before he had passed, one of my boys had sent me a beat pack because I had been sending Twice like little freestyles and stuff I was recording, all my little demo tracks where I'm trying to figure out how to actually record, find my voice, find my sound. And it's like, man, my boy, my sounding board, my homeboy, my accountability partner, gone. I just got these new beats. So right before we went, I drove down to go to the memorial service, like in the middle of the pandemic. It's some small backyard type thing. I ordered me some at-home studio equipment. Wasn't supposed to be back for like a month. By the time I get back up from Philly down to Atlanta and back, like it's there, like weeks early. And I just got all these new beats from my boy. So how the project kind of came, instead of probably sitting and grieving effectively, I was just in the in the closet, in my little closet in the apartment to set up my
recording.
Just recording and trying to like learn how to use the tools, mixing myself, trying to figure out how to make it sound the way I want it to sound. And, you know, there's a whole bunch of tracks that ain't never gonna see the light of day, but the ones that make up Think Twice is the ones from that season of time. And the more I got into it, the more intentional the song started becoming, the more structure and the more like formal song structure started coming out of it. And that's how we got to Think Twice. But it's a tribute to the homie, keep his name going forever. We got a memorial scholarship fund for him, keep his name going forever like that too. And it's just about showing love, man. Something for me, all the folks at school that knew him, his whole family. Like, if you need to go get a little dose, like you can go get a dose of the vibes and the memories through that.
Nice. I love it. And you have, on this project, you have 15 songs?
15
songs.
Tracks,
Four,
interludes.
I mean, tracks, 15 tracks. 4 of them have stars.
Yeah.
And they're back to back too. Groove Line Part 1. Silicon Valley. Long Distance, and it was, what's the other one?
The other one would be Behind the Suit. Yeah.
Is it Behind the Suit?
That should be the one right after Long Distance.
Yeah. Okay. So you got 4. You have 4 that already have stars. But I want to know, what are your top 3?
My top 3
of yourself.
For me, man, that's hard. So I'm gonna say Silicon Valley for the vibe of it, and like the whole project is all storytelling. Like it all run together. So like the storytelling and the lyrics, right. I tried to put that in there. Silicon Valley for the vibe. Seen It All for the lyrics, and Gotta Do It for like the expression of it, because like that was at the very bottom of the project. So if folks ain't got the patience to like listen to it in whole, that's the one that's like probably getting missed by a lot of people. But that's the song, that's the love, like that's one of the love songs on there, and something for the people. Like it's the other side of me that resonate real strong. You know what I'm saying? So those are my 3. Honorable mention Hank Aaron, because that's the one that's like most explicitly.
Shout out to Hank Aaron for the Mobile shout out.
Oh yeah.
I was like, okay, you explicitly the city, okay.
Too. And it's low key like a double entendre. So it's definitely, whole second verse is a tribute to the homie. But the whole first verse, like if you know about Hank Aaron for real,
yeah,
and like pull up his Wikipedia facts, I kind of mixed in myself with all the Hank Aaron data as well. So that was just a fun one from a writer's perspective.
Yeah.
And like I said, like finally figuring out how to put together a whole song with like verse hook, outro. So
nice. And Serene Styles said, one of the greatest lyricists alive right here. And you know what? I definitely agree with that statement, because even with going through your project, well, I always pay attention because I'm a poet. So I always try to see, okay, does this artist have the lyrics on here? Because I really, I love just reading the lyrics. I love listening to, but I want to read as I'm listening. So just reading through as I'm listening to you is like, okay, you really put the time in with this project, and you can definitely tell.
I appreciate that. Shout out Serene too.
Huh?
I said, shout out Serene too. Much love. One of the greatest makeup artists alive, y'all. Ladies,
shout
whoever, movie directors, check her out. Everything.
I love that. I love it. Okay, so what are some key tools you hold that you believe are necessities when it comes to your creative process?
Start. For me, I can be like Mr. Procrastinator and just make up reasons to not do whatever it is, whether it's drawing the picture, setting up an event to actually be able to serve folks the food, sitting down and writing. But for me personally, if I just sit down to do it, it's going to get done. Like cooking dinner, going to the gym. Once I'm in the kitchen, once I'm in the gym, the work is getting done, but you got to start. And beyond that, I'm a freestyle artist across the board, from food to the art to the music. My preferred method is just, how do it feel right now? Let that out. And I like to try to capture that moment, and then we can come back and polish it up. We can add the extra fixings on it to make it like perfect and pristine. But I just enjoy letting it flow, and that works well for me. I had to balance that out, especially musically. I got to balance that out with like, stop what you're doing, actually sit down and try to write something. And if I can merge the two, I tend to get a good product. Cause like the writing me is the very like brainy nerd. Like you're going to get a lot of wordplay, you'll get a lot of bars, but the flow come from just like letting it ride. So I got to start, let it flow, and then come back in with the extra shine and polish.
You kind of have like a Pimp C flow to me.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I don't get that one often. That's an honor. One time.
If y'all listen to the project, y'all will get what I'm saying. But I think, yeah, you have like a Pimp C flow.
I appreciate that. Major influence. And I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the UGKs, 8-Ball MJGs, Big Crits of the world, Devin the Dudes that like are a part of the sound that I'm building. But it's like I got so many other bags that like I'm excited to get to play with and like put out. Because like I said, this is the first batch of stuff.
Nice.
Like, these songs from 2020. So I got more
and
to still
you know
get out.
what else with this project that I like is theatrical as well, with the opening credits and the closing credits. Like you definitely tell a story throughout the whole thing. So that's dope.
Thank you.
Let's get into your virtual freestyle Fridays. Where did that come from? Because that's definitely different. I feel like a lot of more artists need to be doing that. How did it come about for you?
Freestyle Friday. So, like I said, like that's my creative method, and I think where like you got to have your 10,000 hours. I may not have like 10,000 stage hours. I may not have 10,000 writing hours, but I got like 50,000 freestyle hours. Like from being a kid to now, whether it's backseat freestyle, driving to school freestyle, in the shower freestyle. Like that's just that's just my mode. And Freestyle Friday was a random day. I had been on the road all day for work, driving all through the country in Pennsylvania. And I got home. I had been kicking around ideas with my homeboy Tay, who's been in the chat at one point or another. And we was like gonna do a podcast, or what do we want to do to get people out there to know that we make music. And we was kicking around ideas. And one day I just came home, went into my room that I turned into my art studio. I had just got a little phone tripod. And I was like, I ain't never been on IG Live. As long as that feature has been on here, we just going to get on IG Live and rap. Even if nobody tune in, I was on my art page, and the art page ain't have like 25 followers. So I was like, it's low pressure.
Yeah.
It ain't but so many people can see it happen. And just got on to start rapping. And I like Sway 5 Fingers of Death. So it was a combination of that. Plus, we're just having people throw words at you. Like, if you know about King Los, he be doing the freestyles. Like, throw him a word, he gonna use the word. So I put beats in the playlist on YouTube, beats on shuffle. Told the folks in the chat, shoot me some words, and we just go until I get tired, or go until ain't nobody there to see what's happening. So that's how it started, and been going ever since.
Have you ever had a word that you couldn't think of nothing?
Man, she might be in here right now. It was a young lady. Shout out to the folks that celebrate Kwanzaa, but it was Coochie Chagulia. And that's she put me on game after the fact, but that's like a Kwanzaa principle. I want to say it might be like the cooperative economics one. And if it's not that one, it's like about knowing. It's good. Look it up, because we need it, Black people. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
But for one, I didn't know how to pronounce it. So like I'm in the middle of rapping and trying to read the word, and I don't know how to pronounce it. And then because I can't pronounce it, I don't know what the word is, so I can't use it in a sentence. So I said something about Julia and Coochie Chagulia. It's like the sentence ain't finna make sense, but we'll figure out what it is after the fact.
Wait, how you spell it?
I couldn't spell it for you now, but Google is your friend. You look up the Kwanzaa principles, and it's gonna be the long one.
Kwanzaa principles. Okay, I would love to.
Boom, there you go, right there in the chat. Bingo.
Okay, there she goes.
Shout out to you. I learned something that day.
Made you stumble. Freestyling is hard. I don't see, like, have you always like just known how to freestyle, or did you have to practice? How did that come about? Man,
so my like I said, like you just think back to being a kid in the back seat and the radio was on, and this might be unique to me because this is how my brain works. But like, I'm so used to rapping over music with words already. Like, cause you gotta think about before YouTube was a thing, right? You didn't have nowhere to go to just get instrumentals, and then like LimeWire ain't come out till, at least for me, like we in middle school, and at that time you still in real music, like you're not trying to
messing up everybody's computers.
Yeah, mess the computer up bad. The family computer.
Right.
But for me, my brain always would just take the words of the song and try to keep going and make up my own story. And I think that's one of the reasons like Freestyle Friday works well for me, because I'm already used to using somebody else's words to kick off my line or to keep the story going from what's being said. Nice. So years and years of rapping over other people rapping, and I was not good starting off, I would imagine, but it's just like you've been doing it for so long, eventually you're going to improve. So
nice. Have you ever done a collaboration with your Freestyle Fridays, like with another page?
I invite, so it's Freestyle Friday generally is an open invite. So if somebody who's watching in the crowd wants to tag in, I let them in and they can do their thing. It's
nice.
A homegirl of mine up in Philly now. She's a model, but she does music as well. And she started doing Freestyle Fridays on her page now. So we've done a few like collaborations kind of set up like this where we both have our own beats pulled up and we can go back and forth. But you got to know how the technicalities work on Instagram, because sometimes it be lagging. I try to have somebody rapping off my beats or I'm rapping on theirs and it don't gel well. So you moving forward got to be a lot more intentional about the collaborations. But yeah, I want to turn it into a live event for real. So I might have to holler at you offline about
we need to do that,
making that happen and get the artists in the city together, because I think freestyling is like degenerating. Like what we understand a freestyle to be is just a written that somebody come into the radio station and already done prepared it and go. But I want to, it's rapping off the top is fun, but people be scared to do it because they don't want to look bad. But if you create an environment where it's not about being the best or it's not about being perfect, but it's about having fun, I think a lot of people, I make my homeboys rap whether they rap or not. Like if you're going to be kicking it and the beats is on, like, hey, you up, let's go. And once you set the environment that it's not about, like, who care if you tripping over words or who care if what you said don't rhyme or it don't make sense, we just having a good time. And I think that would be a great addition to the culture for the city.
Yeah. So. I think so too. Okay, guys. I have a couple more questions, but before I ask them, I'm going to go ahead and announce our Q&A portion of the interview. There's a question mark at the bottom of the screen. You can type in your question, and I'll be able to pull it up so he can answer it for you. When you hear the phrase, everything black, what does that mean to you?
Blackity, black business, black people, black music, because it all came from our ideas, Beethoven included, like just prosperity, man. And for me, the idea that if we take it like Black History Month, the idea that this was discovered, like where we live at here, was discovered, false. Like the folks that was here before Columbus and them, black. You feel me? Like we live in Alabama, Moundville, Chocolaco, Indian Mounds, black. Like I got folks in my family, when your people say Indian, we got Indian in our family, black. You thinking it's somebody else. No, like your granny and them. Like I got aunties and uncles in them. So that's what I think about black. That's my unique. Everything black. Even the things you ain't think was black. Black.
Nice. I love it. Okay, you got one question. Biggest non-rap R&B musical influence? That's a good question.
Non-rap and non-R&B, or non-rap? Yes.
I think they're saying R&B musical influences.
My R&B musical influences, I would say Parliament, Funkadelic, and just George Clinton, Bootsy Collins, adjacent collective as a whole. Gotta throw like Usher in there just because we grew up on that, vibe wise. And LTD, like major, so many slaps. It's like LTD/Gap Band, you know, that pocket.
Yeah.
Shout out to Pops for that, man. Every road trip, got the compilation tape on go.
Okay, you have another question. When did you find out you were musically inclined and took to rapping?
Whenever Ludacris came out with Move, that's when I wrote my first rap.
Oh, wow.
I probably ain't write another one for like 10 years, but that's when I wrote my first one. And I always liked music. It was always around, so like thank God for that. So I started noting like I got my own theme music in my head during the day. So like I'm walking around, I got a beat to my day, and if it's not on, that's how I know something off with my day. But that's when I started and knew I had something, because like the song I made was good, but my grandma found it, and I got in trouble because I was not using good language. But I guess that would have been like 4th grade or something like that, and it solidified for me probably senior year of high school, because that's when some of my Facebook was out. They started doing freestyle videos on Facebook, and so that made them want to start rapping when we was kicking it more. I never got on the Facebook videos, but I was always holding my own, like in the cipher. And it's like, no, I'm kind of nice with this. I never am one to say that, because I try to be extra humble, unnecessarily humble. But I'm getting more comfortable with saying like, no, I'm nice with this. And it's facts.
Nice. I love that. And I can see Luda being one of your influences too.
Punchlines. Yeah. And having like his music was always fun too. And
it was.
That's one thing. I want to like be able to talk about serious topics without like depressing you though. You know, like we can still have fun but keep it real at the same time.
Love that. Okay, we got the ultimate question. Biggie.
Woo! Okay, so when I was young, like I said, we talk about LimeWire era, right? I was a Biggie, like it was like an undebatable landslide victory, Biggie, because I was just a bars, lyrics kid at that time. Okay. We didn't really have a whole lot of like people popping in the South at the time in school, like in Alabama specifically. Like Rich Boy might have came out a couple years after this era.
Shout out to Rich Boy.
And I wasn't up, like Dope B wasn't out yet. I ain't know about Dirty at the time, so I was just out of pocket. But as a like adult me, Pac, and Pac for like the intent behind the music. And you know, regardless of how he might have carried himself in the public face, I think his interviews have stood the test of time for saying like what he was about, regardless of how like his life ended up playing out. And so Pac for that. And if I had to choose like which one I would want to be remembered more like, it would be Pac.
Nice. Okay, y'all, we are currently in the Q&A portion of this interview. If you have a question for Pollo Papi, click the question mark at the bottom of the screen, type in your question, and I'll be able to pull it up so he can answer it for you. I want to tell you thank you for doing this interview.
Hey, thank you for having me.
This was great, and you know, I knew you were talented when I first walked in on your session. Like,
see,
that was a crazy experience just to witness, you know, because you just went right in the booth. And how many songs y'all did that night? Like
6.
Like 6 songs?
Yeah, me and my brother, we between the two of us, we got 6 done.
Yeah, that was dope to see, because a lot of people can't do that. A lot of people can't just go into the booth and do 6 songs in one session.
Studio time costs money, man. You got to be, like you said, business is business. I'm there on business. We're not coming to the studio to kick it at the house.
You got to be ready.
Big facts. I'm glad it turned into this, though, too. You know, and that's, like I said, I'm about going with the flow, be in the moment. And so you popped in. I didn't expect it, but it turned into this. So praise God for that.
Nice. Tell me, what can we expect from you in 2022? What's coming up? What's next?
More music. Like I said, Think Twice was me like finally opening up the vault and letting people become aware that like I do music. Freestyle Friday was like the intro and having fun, but Think Twice is more like, hey, I'm taking myself more seriously, and here's something y'all can have to get some understanding on who I am musically. 2022, more music. 2022, I haven't done a whole lot with the chicken coop here in the city, so I got to introduce the city to the coop and the coop truth and the sauce and the season of what all we got going on with that, so folks can get the flavors there. And we'll have some chicken coop related tunes to vibe to as well. And then probably finish the year out. All this talk about NFTs and this, that, and the third, I'm going to have to do some kind of major art function before the year is over with. But we're going to put the music and the chicken coop at a priority right now. And I'll keep making my own personal pieces for art. And maybe those will get shared with the world.
Yeah. Nice, nice. Somebody asked, which performer had the best performance at the Super Bowl?
Which performer had the best performance? I will give that to Kendrick for me personally.
Yes.
As somebody who's like getting acclimated to being on stage now, did my first live show in August and got my second one coming up next month down in Arlington, Texas. You look, and I analyze like all of them. Once you like a chef, you analyzing the food. So like now that I got to do what they do, I'm trying to pay attention to the technical aspects of it. And Kendrick, from like, you got to think about the live performance. He didn't have his lyrics going behind him, so he's rapping a real complex song with no backup, having to make sure he hitting everything on cadence. Outside of Eminem, lyrically, his verse was the most complex. Technically, out of that group, he's got the least performing and stage experience, so shout out to him. He's like, as experienced as Kendrick is, he was the rookie out of that bunch of people.
Yeah.
And he had a unique concept with his background dancers, even though, you know, he was doing the little yeah, he had the little moves going. But that's my answer for those reasons, because I'm trying to build what my performance style is going to be like, and I had the most to pull from his performance.
What do you feel like would be the most beneficial for the music scene here in Alabama?
More spaces and safe spaces for people to comfortably share their work.
What makes a space safe?
Judgment free and setting the tone. You got to have some regulators in the room. Like I view you as a experienced curator, right? Yeah. Whether it's the in-person events you do or whether it's what you do here, you are like the vibe shepherd kind of, and you control how people act when they in your space that you curated. Yeah. And so we can have different vibes, but when people step in the room, you are now under the rules and regulations of this space. And so if people create a space where it ain't no booing and dogging people out for doing what they do, whether this their first day out, or whether they're a veteran, just we here to enjoy each other. We're here to have somewhere where people can
respect the mic.
Yeah, respect the mic. And people need to be able to release that. And I think I know it's a whole lot more people doing music and art here in the city than publicize it. But they don't want to get dogged out for being new. And you got to have a place where people can build that confidence. It's like the gym. I think that'll lead to more opportunities for artists that aren't getting shine that they should get, to have more spaces to do what they do and get the word out as well. If you create the intent, the expectation that Huntsville is a music city, which it is, we got the camp going, we got the amphitheater on the way. Like, it's the bubble is blowing up and it can pop. Like, but the artists have to come together and make sure that we managing the resources properly.
As an artist, how do you feel about investing in certain performances? Is that something you would do? Like, would you spend money in order to perform somewhere?
I have. I haven't performed somewhere. I mean, outside of like open mics, actually, I take that back. I haven't performed for free anywhere. Like, even
so you feel like it's beneficial to invest in yourself that way? You have to.
If it's not worth money to you, it ain't gonna be worth nothing to nobody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to. And most open mics that I've been to where I actually get to get on stage or get the mic in my hand, they at least got a cover at the door. So that's still investing in yourself to go be in a space where other people that do what you do and like-minded individuals. That at that small level, that's still investing in yourself.
Most definitely. Okay, last call for questions, everybody. If you have a question, if you have a question, click the question mark at the bottom of the screen, type in your question, and I'll be able to pull it up on the screen so he can answer it for you. Yeah, this was really dope.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, we got to do it again, and I definitely want to collab on some stuff. I'm gonna definitely be in touch with that. And you say you travel with your wing business, so is it a promise that you have the best wings in everybody's city?
I stand on it. You know,
okay.
I'm like I said, I'm still a humble cat. I try to, stand on what I know I can do, but it's not so much about being competitive for me. It's like, hey, if y'all taste buds agree, I didn't come up with that. It's from years of being told these the best wings I ever had. And I'm not butthurt if somebody outdo me, but if they got it like that, I want to have them. I want to try them because I'm a chicken fanatic myself. So
nice. Just Pearls asks, if you could be on stage and perform with any artist, who would it be and why with any artist?
Ooh, that's difficult. I would, like present day right now, the answer to that is Big Crit. A, because I've already met him before. B, because at a real pivotal time in my life, his music made a positive impact on my life. And his stage presence is crazy. I got a lot that I can learn from how he manages the show. If you've never been to a Crit show, worth the money and super humble, down to earth off stage as well. So I think that's the most learn something about rapping on stage, and I vibe with you, and the music will go well together. Type of artist.
Nice. Alton, aka says, when and where is his next performance? When is your next performance?
March 25th, Arlington, Texas.
Nice.
Show called Vibes Made Known with some of the homeboys I met out in Denver for the last show, turning it into a tour, Vibes Made Known tour. So Arlington, Texas is going to be the first of multiple shows I'll be doing this year, I should say, in different states. So be on the lookout. Follow pollopapi.gnf on Instagram to stay tuned with what I got going on music, or you can follow me on my personal page that I'm on here. And I got all my stuff from the art to the chicken in the bio, so you can find me.
Any visuals coming for your...
Visuals on the way. And if anybody watching here is a videographer, photographer, like I said, I only been back in the city for, it's been not even been a year yet. So I'm trying to get better network with who does what out here. I had my team out in Philly, but I got visuals ready to get made. The music is out there. So if you got recommendations or anybody else got recommendations, I'm looking.
You should link with Real Films.
Bet that.
I'll send you their stuff. I think y'all will be a dope connect.
Please do. I appreciate that.
Okay, that's all the questions we have for this interview. But before I end it, I want to say that we are running a special on our interviews for the year of 2022. So if you are a creative of any kind, rapper, artist, dancer, singer, business owner, all our interviews are $22 for the year of 2022. All you have to do is fill out the application. The link is in our bio. You can pick which month you would like your interview to be. It's a few questions on there that I prefer that you answer. Once you fill out your application and make your payment, we'll send you a scheduled date with 10 personalized questions in addition to our Q&A with our audience. And you have the opportunity, you have 1 hour with us to showcase your talent, promote your brand, do a giveaway, whatever you like to promote your brand or business. This is the opportunity to do so. So please take advantage of that. March 11th, we have our next studio mixer at EQ Labs. It's an event I created to get all artists to come through, meet each other, because it's a lot of artists in the city that don't really know each other, and people in surrounding areas that haven't met yet as well. Definitely come through for that. I believe Phantom Aftermath is a show here that's happening in Huntsville on March 5th. Definitely pull up to that if you can. Flyers will be posted on our page. Yeah. Follow Poet Deposit. That's a poetry page that I just started on here. We've been doing literary link ups for all writers and poets who need somewhere to write, need some inspiration. Shout out to Love Elaine Creatives. We're doing a collab with that. Follow Pollo Papi. Listen to Think Twice. The album is dope. I've listened to it 3 times. I've added some songs to my playlist. So
thank you.
It's stamped by Sound on the Hill.
Hey,
and you are an official Soundwave.
We official like a ref with a whistle, just like that, man. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I appreciate all the love, the strangers, the family, the homies, the fellow artists and creatives. Much love to everybody. Man, keep doing what you do. Yeah. Do it for you. Don't worry about what nobody else got to say about it, because somebody somewhere needs what you got. So don't rob the world of your gift. And God bless you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure. Until next time.
Yes.